Are you thinking about moving to the Tampa Bay area and you feel lost trying to figure out what it's like? This video is for you. I'm going to talk about some of the best things, some of the worst things about moving here and living here. Stick around. I'm Sam and welcome to the Living in Tampa, Florida channel. We make videos every single week about what it's like to live, work, play, and move to the Tampa Bay area. If that's something you're interested in, make sure you hit that subscribe button and hit that little bell so you get a notification for every one of our new videos. I am also a licensed realtor in the state of Florida, so if you have any real estate specific questions, please don't hesitate to call, text, email anytime. My number and email are on the screen right now. Today we're asking the question, what is it really like to live in Tampa? Tampa is a big area. Over 3 million people make up the entire area. When you think of Tampa or Florida in general, you might think of Disney World, pretty beaches, swamps, alligators, Florida Man, Tiger King. If you've been down here, you've noticed all the billboards for plastic surgery. All of this has kind of a strange vibe, but that's actually not what it's like to live here. One of the most common questions I get about living in the Tampa area is it full of snowbirds and is it full of retired people? The answer to that is no, it's not. Of course, there are communities that support retirees and make it easier for them to transition to that part of their life. And those communities help support the economy, because a lot of those people don't live here full time. They still pay for property taxes, they still pay for insurance, and when they're here, they're spending money in our economy. My father-in-law was born and raised here, and he's 70 years old. Very regularly, we're driving down a road and he points it out and says, "Oh, I remember when that used to be a swamp," or "I remember when so-and-so used to own that and then they sold it to this developer." He knows all those kind of stories. So it's very obvious that the area has changed, and he tends to see it through very rose-colored glasses because he really loves the area. I'm going to talk to you about some of my favorite things and some of my least favorite things about living in the Tampa Bay area. Alright, let's start with the negative things because that's what you people actually like to hear, and I'm the same way. When I go to read a review or watch a video, I want to hear the downsides. My least favorite thing about living in the Tampa Bay area is seeing the potential and seeing it not captured. What I mean by this is there's a lot of old businesses and there's a lot of people that have been here for many generations that don't want to see things change. They don't want to see things grow. They don't want to eat new food. And this is really frustrating. I moved here from Colorado, and Colorado is constantly changing and constantly growing. They're very progressive in that kind of way. And I really wish that the Tampa area was more like that. Another thing that really is frustrating about the area is how much it caters to tourists. Tourism is so important for the Florida economy, and it keeps us from having to pay state income tax because all the tourists come down and spend so much money in our economy that it takes some of our tax burden, which obviously I'm very thankful for. But being in a place that serves tourists sometimes more than locals is kind of frustrating. And it makes you really pick the places that are local. It makes you really think about, oh, this place will be busy during this time of the year. I don't want to go, or I do want to go. It makes you kind of think around that kind of thing, and that can be kind of frustrating. All right, another one of my least favorite things is there is a season of the year where it is so wet. I mean, like water is in your yard all the time for like 2 months. It's a long time. And it is raining a lot during that time, and it's just the wet season. It's the hurricane season. Even if there's not hurricanes, the water level is just higher. A lot of people have French drains and other kind of systems in their yard to help alleviate the standing water, but it's still just wet. In the midst of that wet season, the bugs really are coming in hot. This is really a hassle for me because the mosquitoes love me. It's not a love that I want. It's not a love that I'm welcoming. They find me and bite me, and it seems like they don't bite anyone else around me, but they attack me. That is a real hassle, and it actually influences some decisions I make. It influences whether I go to the park with my daughter at times or if I even just go outside. All right, the final negative thing is back to the first negative thing. There is so much growth happening in Tampa right now, and there's so much potential for what the area is going to become, but it's still really early. So if you're moving to Tampa right now, if you want to live here right now, it's early. The city will keep evolving, will keep growing, and keep becoming a top city in the US, but it's not there yet. All right, some of my favorite things. Number one, sub-cities. The Tampa area is made up of a bunch of smaller cities. Sometimes these cities are 24,000 people, like the one I live in, Tarpon Springs, and sometimes they're quite a bit bigger, like 150,000. Like Tarpon Springs, the city is 24,000 people, but then the 5 mile radius is like 500,000 people. You really get the small city feel in Tarpon Springs, but you still get to take advantage of all the amenities of being part of a bigger city of over 3 million people. And Tarpon Springs is just the one that I live in. Also in Pinellas County, there are other areas like Dunedin and Clearwater and Largo. In Tampa, you have some really up and coming areas that are part of the downtown. And then you have some other areas like Seminole Heights that are a little more hipster, and Ybor City that are a little more interesting and quirky, and you might really like that too. All those features make Tampa pretty cool. Another one of my favorite things is the trees and plants. I love how diverse the trees and plants are, how easily things grow, how quickly things grow. It really kind of is like an island here. And there's palm trees everywhere. There's these southern live oaks everywhere that get huge and they're beautiful. And if you want to grow things in your yard, that's very easy to do here as well. I was actually on a walk with my daughter not too long ago, and my neighbor stopped me and asked me if I wanted a bunch of fresh lemons from their tree. They had just picked all these lemons. I said of course, and I ended up taking like 10 or 15 of them because they had a lot. I made some lemon curd, made some lemon bars for our family, and that was just kind of a fun thing to do. Just walking down my neighborhood in this small city of Tarpon Springs, a neighbor stopped me with fresh fruit from their yard. So that kind of introduces a few of my favorite things right there. My final favorite thing is the upside. It's also the growth and potential. I know that I said that was a negative, but it really just depends on how you look at it. It really can be frustrating, but you also feel like you're kind of on the ground floor of something that could be really great. There is so much potential for what this city can become, and I really enjoy being early and being able to dream about that with other business owners, with other people that are excited to be involved and to do great things in Tampa. If you found this video helpful, hit that like button, and if you want to catch all of our videos, make sure you hit that subscribe button and hit that little bell so you get a notification for every new video. Again, my name's Sam. My number and email are right there on the screen. If you have any real estate specific questions or needs, please don't hesitate to reach out. I'd love to talk to people about moving here and about living here. Thanks for coming by.